back after a small break with rescued Raxis. Last time, the party were basically getting background information, but it's really hard to fit into a campaign unless someone just fucking tells them. You don't really want to have a cutscene like that, but you have to at times. Otherwise, how are we going to learn? And these ones really have to learn. Apart from that, there were interactions, a little bit of chatter. Cornelius found he had an appointment that he hadn't made, but it was coming up close. But here they are, sitting at the sump. Well, a couple of them are. Still in conversation with John. Just John. And the dialogue ball is in Rain and Cornelius' court.
If I recall correctly, I'd looked at Cornelius for input as we were discussing the, I literally just said what they were 2 seconds ago, and now I can't remember anymore.
The Tenorooks.
If you can't tell, I'm having a painting auction in the back of the room.
The Tenorooks.
Thank you, those things.
Also, hopefully the painting auction has some erotic rat art.
No, unfortunately. Although he did find that piece of painting, he was looking for the ties now.
That was a hell of a thing me and Elle came across. Anyway, back to the conversation at hand. So Cornelius, Rain is looking at you, which is always a sign. A worrying sign.
What was it about the Tenorooks?
He's asking you, Rain.
Oh, wait. You're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you, what was it about the Tenorooks, specifically the leads?
We'd mentioned that we had interrupted a demonic summoning in the forest.
Yes.
I'd said that, and then I looked at you.
Yes, oh man, I can't even remember which demon it was.
No, that was the one where they'd sacrificed the bunch of people, and then we resurrected them, yeah.
Yeah, that was the one you were referring to, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
And it had that big stone altar in the center.
Mm-hmm. I remember it even having a very powerful anti-magic field around it.
Interesting.
It was a bit difficult to walk through in general, but I think that might be because we have so many magic items.
Oh, yes, of course, yes, of course, yes. Localized anti-magic field. A ritual site, interesting. And they were... Well... It must have been quite the sight to see them making Tenorooks there.
They didn't manage to get much done because we'd rather put a stop to that.
Must have been a bit rude to be interrupting them mid-coitus like that.
Oh, they were a bit cheesed off because we stopped them from sacrificing the last person.
Oh. Then it wasn't... Then they weren't making Tenorooks there.
Oh?
Well, yes, I mean, the ritual for that is very primal. It's very deep down. That's why it's... Well, it's an orc thing. It's quite awful. I've seen it a few times. Once was a curiosity. The others were, well, you can't really leave a hiding spot sometimes. Right there. All the blood. So much. The woman usually doesn't survive. That's a running theme for orcs at times. No doubt you've seen some ogrillans, the half-ogres.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Typically, ogre male, orc female.
I don't think that would work very well for the female.
It's a wonder they still survive, to be perfectly honest.
What do you suppose they were doing there, then?
I'd have to see the site myself to really check it out, but pure theorizing hypothesis, summoning seems the most likely. Desecration of a holy... Did the place look particularly druidic?
Oh,
It was definitely of some sort of nastiness.
Any symbolism on the altar? Any particular fetishes or props that they were in use of?
it was a giant stone. Honestly, I hesitate to call it an altar, really. It was a giant stone slab with some markings on it.
I mean, that's fairly typical of a sacrificial ritual, and it was being done by those, the branch heads, yes? Or was it just orcs?
It was the branch heads.
Alchemians, well, for all I know, it could just be them doing a bit of garnish on their meal.
I do know they had the humans they were sacrificing, and then they were also sacrificing a displacer beast. They'd done one, and they were getting ready to do the other probably at some point.
So just a trait of life, then. As an absolute guess, let's see. Bad roll as well. Desecration seems the most likely thing, but then for what purpose? If the area itself isn't particularly holy, then it would have to be an insult on nature, and then it would be something in the realm of a despoiling, but then for what particular cause? Was the area itself notable in any way? No.
Not
No.
particularly.
Just as a
It
reminder.
was, yeah. Other than the ritual site, it was basically nature around.
Perhaps they're not the only site. If the place itself has no importance, no cairns, no temples or anything built up, then that means it could be the extreme... There could be multiple places, and then what's in the center of them is the important part.
Like a triangulating geomancy.
Something like that, yes. Which would then lead to a summoning. I mean, that would make it stronger, certainly, but with a little bit of a life sacrifice on stone slabs, it's not a big enough deal, really, for something important or powerful. Mind you, it could bring through some minor devils or demons.
Would also be odd for something powerful to just be in the middle of a forest.
Exactly, they like a bit of pomp, a bit of ceremony. Honestly, most of the instructions that a cultist performs a summon are just to stroke the ego. I've heard. But yes, could even be a seal or...
A marker or seal, perhaps.
I took the idea that it could have been some sort of a seal. Just because, if you recall, and I look at Cornelius, our friend's response to something was up with the stone slab itself.
Yes,
It
yes.
seems like it also seems like a lot of sacrifices just for activating a marker, so to speak.
But then,
Seal is much more likely.
but then the site, was it old? Ancient?
It was just a forest in the middle of nowhere.
I must admit, I cannot. What is it? Geology is not my strong suit, I'm afraid.
Yes, if only we had your short friend.
Unless there was something that had transpired there a long time ago and it just forest overtook.
Well, I mean, of the little text I've been able to find, the historic records and whatnot, is devil worshipping demons demon adulation, not a big part of the kingdom of the north. And you said it was the branch heads. That element to them of being so entwined with blights and wood and nature and being degraded so to savagery, rather new. Not a lot of reports of such on them. I mean, they were a thoroughly degraded people by the few that's appeared during the war about a century ago. The big monster bash, as I like to term it, just for the collective information. But they
What if
weren't
it's
all blooded up and muscled.
What if
Mind
we're
you,
not-
mind-
what if it might not be a seal or a marker? What if it might be a gateway?
Bit minor for a gateway, but possible. Could be summoning something. Piece
If you
by
wanted
piece.
to have yeah, if you want to have something to come unnoticed into the backyard, so to speak.
Oh, it would certainly be noticeable to agree, but for multiple points of sacrificial ritual, yes. I mean, it wouldn't be anything huge. We're not looking at Asmodeus himself stepping in.
Hmm.
Baylor, still a bit minor. There are a few things, possibly. It may even be something inherent to the land itself, but of what I've managed to glean, it's hard to get a hold of folklore or anything very old here.
My question would be, could it somehow be related to the previous war, and that's how they would know to look for it?
Possibly, possibly. It may be it may be even older than that as well. I mean, it's a little thing I've discovered here. Do you know this is actually New Raxis City? But new as in 1,000 years ago. This wasn't the capital.
Oh? Some of our texts have mentioned some things, but it gets... How can I say? They're not very good on record keeping in a way that is accessible to the public.
Well, no, the victors rarely are. But yes, far to the east there was a Raxis city there, long disused apparently. Found very little on it because, simply put, people don't know. It's like trying to convince someone that there was a Neverwinter to the north, but was the original place of the city.
Hmm.
It could be there for all we know. People don't venture that far. Although this is on a much smaller scale, of course.
That's an interesting angle for all of this. How do we know that... Now, this is out of character for a moment, so
Yeah.
as a refresher, what side is the orcs coming from?
They're coming from the east, mainly northeast, but also a bit southeast.
Okay, so roughly the direction of where we're talking about here.
At some point I need to drop the map just for the hell of it, but the main thing is, so picture Raxis City, the castle, all on the far left side. And then there's just this big expanse of, various hills, mountains, forests, and all that there. Like, Raxis is very lopsided in how it's placed. The city and the castle are very much on the left extreme, and then all the other towns and villages are just dotted around to the east, north, and south.
Okay. I'm wondering if some of this might be related to why Raxus moved in the first place, then. If there's not even a mention of it at all, there was probably a reason that they moved in relative quickness and without leaving a paper trail.
I mean, it's just the times change as well, of course. I mean, it could just simply be a social-economical issue.
Oh, yes, but usually that's not hidden. They just mention, oh yeah, we've moved the city.
Well,
There's been city name changes.
As I said, it's from so long ago. The few details I found were carved partially in stone and some imprinted on stone. They're that old. Mainly some old dwarven records. So I don't believe in this case it's anything sinister. Could be. Could very easily be. A lot of things are quite sinister. But it's just a case of the information just doesn't exist in the mind of the people anymore, or even in the records. Because you have to think at some point, surely, there was a lot of internal war as well in Raxis. There's no... After all, the kingdom had to be formed somehow.
Oh, yes.
May just have been forgotten just to make certain land possessions a bit easier. If you have to go back that far, it might be someone drawing back rights back from way back then.
Exactly.
Easy to just start from zero.
And you've got no one living today who has memories of that occasion. Partly because a lot of the elf community seem to migrate out of the kingdom. I mean, I did find records that there was apparently a thriving wood elf population here and just gone in a few decades. Not to mention, I've seen a few circles being erased. I've seen elements of them still about as well. There are quite a number of treants that used to be here. I've seen a few remnants of them. You don't get a treant unless you have a very dedicated nature community.
Yes, that one was understandable. It's the other ones that hold my interest.
Boutel.
Well, elves relocating isn't all that much of a shock.
Oh, not at all.
That tends to be a thing.
But it just means, I'm just using an example of the long memories are gone.
Yeah.
Anyone who would remember the old details have long since left. Or expired. Now, true, they could be questioned, but that's a little tricky. With bad record keeping comes bad memorialization and burial mounds and such, so tough to get the answers.
But I'm wondering how much of this is related to the current situation over on the east. Clearly Raxis has passed that they do not like being shared.
Well, that's any place that's survived long enough, I suppose. I mean, the curious thing is recent history as well. I mean, they had a truce with the Orc tribes. Then shattered. And have you seen the odd situation going on with... The city is under attack. That's their target. The castle sits alone and isolated, and they've not gone near it.
That's something that I'd noticed, and I was in... It doesn't make a lot of sense. Whatever they want is here.
Then, of course, there's the Orc chieftain himself. Terrifying fellow. Do you know why he has that name?
Not particularly. Why?
Well, it was a very bloody fight between the two. The previous chieftain and this new one, Grabnadger, who apparently was a chieftain before as well. Not sure on that one. It might have been a relative. One-on-one combat, then during it, he tore the manhood off his opponent, crammed it in his throat, and then squeezed his throat, or crammed it into his mouth, and then squeezed his throat until it was down him, and he could not vomit it up by crushing his windpipe. Which is a good way, I suppose, to get people to follow you.
Yeah, come to think of it, I'm pretty sure most people would not want to mess with somebody who did that. Particularly not if they're of the male persuasion.
My mind boggles at what move he would have done for a female chieftain.
Let's not go that way. Certain things are better left not to the imagination.
So yes, he's quite terrifying at the prospect. I mean, savagery and violence is just inherent to the Orc nature, but that's a particularly large streak of malice and cruelty.
I also have to inquire as to if they had an agreement. Now, don't get me wrong. agreements break down all of the time. That's
Oh, of
not
course,
a
yes.
particularly abnormal thing. But I'm wondering what caused this particular breakdown.
Well, far as I can tell, the chieftain. Change of leadership. The choker is the one who wants to wage war.
Even in that situation, though, normally there's usually a little bit more nuance. There wouldn't be something that would be dragging him specifically to only the city.
Well, from the accounts I've heard and how he won his battle, he doesn't seem like a pleasant type. He could just be some empty-headed savage who really just wants to rip and tear and rend this place asunder.
Yeah, but then I can't imagine why they had been staying in a siege for so long.
And why they haven't gone up to the castle, which would be something that's far more prestigious to rip and tear.
Indeed. Could be he prefers just a more numerous slaughter. There's not that many up at the castle. Possibly less than 100, if you would count in the guard, the servants, the royalty of the court. Whereas you have a city here.
Yes, but even then, normally it's pretty normal. You go up there, you take out the leadership, you take out the head, you take out the symbols, and then everything else follows with it.
But don't forget we're dealing with an orc here. Now yes, what you're saying is perfectly logical and efficient, but for them it's the conquest. It's what they can pillage and loot and destroy. There's only so much they can haul off from the castle, but here they could pick it apart for months. That's my theory on it, at least. They're not... I haven't studied them a whole lot, not living. I have heard, however, there are a few physicians who are gathering up a couple of cadavers for a study.
A study.
Hey.
Hey, study.
You.
Hey, Pio.
Howdy.
Don't worry,
Oh,
we're still locked in exposition.
Okay, good, because, well, then I guess I'll save my comments till after we're done.
Okay. Yes, well, if you like, I could drop an invite.
I look at Cornelius.
I believe this is more. I believe this is more of your.
Yes, I'd only really be able to... They want to keep the circle very small, of course, for... They don't want many tongues wagging, so I was hoping to offer it to the good Lady Rain.
And it's Cornelius going one necromancer inviting another.
He said, "Good Lady Rain." He knows nothing.
She's looking very, very like she's considering it most strongly. I suppose so.
It'll be a fascinating learning experience. I mean, I've seen plenty of them cut open and, of course, the rotting ones shuffling about, but it's always interesting to see the learned ones really decipher it. But yes, I'll get a hold of you for when the time comes. Might not even happen, of course.
Well, I most certainly thank you for the invite.
My word, the evening has prolonged, so I think we may have to call this evening closed, unless there's anything else you wish to speak of.
That's
I
something
shake
that
my
comes
head.
to my. That's something that comes to my mind. You probably don't know, but I figured I might as well ask you. Does the name Karina Caskmore tell you anything?
Yes. Yes, the Prenders scandal. She was one of the... She testified against him.
I see.
One of the few. Apparently she was one of the clear witnesses at the affair. Came from, what was the details on her? Oh yes, assistant there for some years in his work.
She is trying not to look incredibly annoyed.
It's like bringing up her goth face.
And she's about ready She's just thinking of all the things she wants to do after after they leave and smacking Cornelius. Oh, dog, what did you get? Hold on.
Oh my god, I'm glad that for once I took notes. I was not letting that name get away from my memory.
He's been writing in his journal, you know, Cornelius Caskmore.
Oh god, I dare not even think about what if Cornelius had a goth face, how that would have been.
It would have been Spider-Man free.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I summon my Shadow Blade.
Dude, I don't even know how to cast light. That's how dark I am.
See. Do you happen to recall what I've only heard tidbits about the whole Prenders affair?
Well, it was an interesting experiment, and I do know of some people who may have taken an interest in his research. It really was a strange little thing. Search for eternal life, nothing surprising there, but the results are interesting, very compelling. Trapping the soul within the flesh. Now, there are many powerful spells to transpose the soul, or even to just flick it into flesh just freshly made for it. You know of the reincarnate spell and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
But to keep it trapped like that, anchored so that even a god couldn't rip it out, I assume, I mean, none of them tried. It's an interesting prospect, because then, I mean, a lich withers. They lose their sanity, their control, but because of lack of sensation, some believe. But this, they would continue to have that. The flesh cannot stop living. So if he was kept intact and obviously continued to have control over himself, I believe that was the big issue as well, is something was tapped in there. It wasn't just that soul. There is another element that also got locked in, and that's why so many people. I mean, true, only about a dozen or so, but
She is very interested at this point. Because some of this is pontificating that she did not have access to at the time.
And then, yes, they sliced, they cut, they maimed, they burned, and all of it still technically alive, still motive in some way. But not regenerative, which is an interesting thing as well. Like, reduced down to near ashes and cinders, but still with a soul trapped inside, still somewhat living, and the pieces each having that soul. There is much you could do with that, if you were so inclined. I mean, if you took great care of yourself and could deal with whatever else was brought in, probably some element of the negative plane. There are intelligences there. I mean, have you heard of the Night Walker?
Can't say that I have.
Has rain.
Roll me Arcana.
Okay, let me see. Wrong button.
I was gonna say, I don't know. Have you? It's like-
Yes, but not through the most scholarly means. It was a very odd bit of pillow talk. All you really know is that if someone tries to enter the negative plane, where there is just oblivion, sometimes a piece of him can remain long enough for something to move out. The Nightwalker is a horrendous, monstrous thing. It is a giant of just pure death, destruction, and entropy. And to slay it also slays the person on the other side of the negative plane.
I am vaguely aware of the... Yes.
Terrifying things. Now, I have a vague familiarity with people who are in the interest of the negative plane, and even they haven't tried to wrangle a Nightwalker.
I don't imagine that would work very well if they tried.
So
Too big.
So I just think that the destructive nature of that poor subject, I think, will go the right term there. It might not have been a Nightwalker per se, but something from the negative plane, or maybe even the Shadowfell, a place of also dark erosion. Something slipped in alongside the soul. Or just a little stain, maybe. And that resulted in all that carnage.
That's... I hadn't considered that, actually.
It's curious, though. I wonder how it wound up. I mean, obviously it was a failed experiment, that much is clear, but how to tap into the negative plane in such a minor way, while also keeping something alive. I will be frank here. That's the negative plane is the energy used to animate the undead, to keep a zombie moving. That's why you can't just fix them. They are made of unliving.
Huh. That is something that I have great interest in. That does intrigue me on several levels.
I'd assume so. Unless you wear that symbol just for show. Yes, she does.
I do not.
Yes, she does.
No, I do not. If I did, then I wouldn't be able to use my clerical powers.
Who says you're getting it from Kalimvor? Which is a devil.
Speaking of not wearing that thing for show,
Which is a devil who's laying back thinking, this could be fun. I'll let it keep happening. Interesting you bring up the whole debacle there in Neverwinter.
Oh, that was Waterdeep.
Oh, was it in Waterdeep? Okay.
Yeah, that was Waterdeep. Cornelius is Neverwinter. I'm Waterdeep.
And Siegfried was Baldur's Gate. Hey, we got them all. Zarzul was a hole in the ground.
That sounds about right.
Malgern was a bigger hole in the ground.
Yeah.
A fancier hole in the ground.
Yeah, we just spring up from the ground. There are no dwarf women, right?
And Castelli was from place styled the same as Bloodborne.
I could see
That's
that.
about right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Lovely Brennicos.
She just left me. She didn't want to be part of this year's hunt. So much cleanup to do afterwards.
But hey, a great feast. So yes, funny you bring that up. Have you seen this Katrina Caskmore recently?
No, the name just came up somewhere. It sounded like a name you would have an idea about.
Fair enough, I suppose. Well, I should probably get a move on then. It's been lovely conversing with the two of you, and we should do it again. I don't know if we must. Circumstances being what they are.
Circumstances are always in flux in the middle of a war.
Yes, we'll say the war was the cause of this, but I'll extend an invite if it's possible. And you do
appreciate it
have
most
one of the
strongly.
very few ways to get a hold of me. For now. So, have a good evening, Mr. Scent. Good Lady Rain.
Take care.
You as well.
And he scarpers. Like, it's a little
She
dignified
turns-
at first when he gets up and starts walking, and then he speeds up and he's fucking out the door.
Rain turns, looks at Cornelius, and gives him a death glare.
What's the matter, Caskmore?
I do not want to hear that name ever again. Unless it's topic important to the situation.
Well, I would say it was rather important in this situation, wouldn't you agree?
Well, are you satisfied that I happened to testify against him?
She was just following orders.
Well, I would probably more say that it definitely seemed to confirm one suspicion we had.
Which was?
It seems like some people might know might know about your new identity.
How does that confirm
Someone,
that?
well, if a machine like this could guess or cannot guess, but know about your background. We already had some suspicion that perhaps there's some creatures who are looking for some of your knowledge.
As far as I know so far, I'm marked by a hag. Now, the actual dolls I'm not horribly surprised at all, considering it seems it can pick up on several of us.
Yes,
That
and
seems more tied to the individual.
yes, and if that machine can figure out your background, I'm most certain that some other ancient magic can do so as well.
Accurate.
Especially when we're dealing with something as ancient and foul as hag magic.
Yes, that was something that
And you
was
could
not a wonderful revelation.
and you could already see well, or someone who already knew about who remembered that name, especially tied to this particular thing. We've already seen hags doing something sinister with keeping dead tissue alive.
Now, my wonder, though, is why was Prenders here in the first place?
Perhaps he was looking for the hags as well. Maybe maybe they both figured the other had a piece of the puzzle.
Hmm. If that's the case, though, wouldn't they have found... I don't know. They would have taken his book.
Exactly.
So
So,
if they didn't, they left his book.
or maybe they didn't get him fast enough. Maybe they did to him what happened to you.
If they did that, though, why wouldn't they just have simply waited to find the combination to his book?
That I do not know. Maybe he escaped somehow before he completely lost his mind.
Oh, he didn't completely lose it because he still was communicating. Just wasn't a pleasant experience. I'm wondering if we don't have a situation where... Because that other necromancer seemed to have been aware, that the elf. He seemed to have been aware of the situation. We have a hag that's involved in the situation, which makes me wonder if we do not have competing interests from several different groups. And one of them acted before the other could figure out the information they needed. Because we found him someplace that wasn't here. We found him, what was it? They said the Shadow Realm?
You know, this would be a
Negative.
great conversation to have with the entire party being able to give input. Just gonna say.
Oh yes. Oh yes, but you see that's not happening right now because this party doesn't talk to each other.
Well, also the fact that this has happened dynamically because he got insulted and asked why he
Yep.
asked.
Yes. So So if we were in the shadow realm there, that would imply that we've moved. If the original experiment, which I don't know if it was in the negative realm or not, I don't what he was drawing from, I don't know. But the point is, if he'd shifted it more to the shadow realm, maybe there were different individuals in play.
The Shadow fell. The Shadow Realm is where a bunch of
Shadow
shitty
fell.
card players are.
Yeah, sorry. I'm having a dumb. You have to remember, I'm having people talk around me.
No,
all
it's
the time.
alright. It's just every time you say it, I keep on thinking, yeah, he's just drawing the spirits of really bad card players.
But if that's the case, maybe we have other players involved. We have multiple competing interests. One of them did that to Prender's, assuming that they could access his book. They couldn't. Maybe they are the ones that have the key, and somebody else is interested in the book.
Hmm. There are a lot of variables right now that I cared for also. Not entirely sure. You should probably, because if I was able to make 2 and 2 come together with your name, do remember that you've been invited inside the wolf's den, so to speak.
Oh, I'm very much aware of that. And if I do go, I'm most certainly not bringing the book. That would need somebody else to babysit.
I was was for once more worried about you going in there alone.
But you bring up a good point. The book is far more important. Good idea.
I was aware of that situation in general, but
Do remember, some of the information about yourself was, after all, how we opened the safe.
yes. That is also primarily why I accepted the invitation. I don't think this is going to be one of those things that we're just going to happen upon in order to get the rest of the pieces of the puzzle. And to be frank, I'm a bit concerned. If Prenders was working with other people, which I have no reason to believe he was not, then other people have his information. If other people have that, they might put that into use. That's what I don't want to see transpire. I don't want to see a repeat. And heaven forbid if one side of this war gets their hands on the idea and starts trying to do something with it.
Hmm.
Because if burning doesn't... What happens if they do this procedure? They find some way to do this, and it's, heaven forbid, one of those big giant things like the thing we ran into that dungeon.
Yeah. I do not know if that had a lot to do with that.
Oh
but
no, I don't think it's
certainly-
related at all. I'm just more using it as an example of what could, in theory, happen if the wrong person takes that research and applies it in a weapon use.
Sounds like a boss fight to me.
I'm fully aware that going could pose a safety concern, but I don't think the situation can resolve while playing safe. And the primary focus on this is to figure out what's going on, and everything else is secondary.
Well, I guess there's only waiting. In any case, as Kaneda starts standing up, I do believe we have more pressing concerns, at least for tomorrow comes.
Oh, true, yes.
So I'm gonna
Meanwhile-
head back.
So, Malgern, do you have any freeze?
Go fish.
Fuck. Alright, here goes Arzul.
Do you have any fives?
Take him.
Thanks. Yep, there's another set. Okay. Do you have any threes?
Didn't he just ask me for threes?
No,
Yeah.
the guy.
No.
Yeah. I assume you're playing with somebody else.
Yeah, he did ask for threes.
So yeah,
Yeah. As the huge Dragonborn hands over a couple of cards.
yeah.
Scratching at his horn.
That's it. Thank you, and I'm done.
Take a deep breath. It's not important. It's not important.
And that's how we all died because we made the Dragonborn angry.
Next time, let Dragonborn win.
Yeah. New plan. Let the
He won't rip your arm out of his socket. He's a bit sensitive about that.
A leg, though.
Oh yeah, leg. Beat you to death with a wet end.
Do you want to try this new pipe weed I got? Some of it's quite good.
I'm not a smoker. I mean, not a actual one. You know. Just a puff of flame.
Zarzul is slightly envious.
You know, Casali is here as well.
No.
I'm
Being
at
able to
work.
breathe
Oh,
fire.
you guys are
At
done.
this point, no, this is evening.
Yeah. Hmm.
This is just fucking bumming around, wasting a bit of time.
Yeah.
Does everyone have their outfits ready?
I do. Nobody else does. As far as I'm aware, they're still waiting to be picked up.
Yeah,
Isn't that soon?
I think tomorrow.
Huh.
Yeah, mine's nice. I might have to get it pressed or something. I can do it myself.
Hmm.
Don't worry, I'll look smart. What was the deal with those shopkeepers, though? Not gonna lie, I've never seen one so skinny before.
Can't really say.
At this point, Cornelius and Rain, you get to the door.
I wander on in, wave hello to everybody, say hello, and then go to find Pufflesworth.
He's under the table, eating scraps.
I bend down and call, "Hi, Pufflesworth!" I know he's not going to come because he's eating, but I'm saying hi.
Doesn't even notice you. The food is all that matters. Lorna's doing the same. It's just that weird thing where whenever Malgern shifts his position in the chair, his foot goes through this image of not a cat. There's always two. It's just weird.
Are you sure it's not a cat?
It's not a cat. It's really not a cat.
It's a kitten.
It's not a kitten. It's bigger than Pufflesworth. It's almost the size of Wolfgang, if not slightly larger. And it's about a week and a half old.
And it's about to get a much shittier attitude than Pufflesworth.
Hey, I'm trying. I'm trying to teach it things. I may not be winning, but I'm trying.
So your date didn't go well? Figured you'd at least be an arm in arm when you came home.
What?
I would be an arm in arm.
Yeah, never
It
mind.
worked perfectly fine.
She just slowly face palms as she figures out the implication again.
And you
granted.
know why Cornelius doesn't get it now.
Now, granted, I must admit it did take the wind out of my sails from what happened at the Colosseum, but I still feel like I could still
Cornelius?
walk perfectly fine. Yes,
Cornelius,
yes.
he is implying that he was thinking it was a romantic stroll.
As a jest.
Yes, I was fully aware of that.
Fair enough. You want to play a hand or two?
Sure. What are we playing?
Let's see here. And now we're going to play a little game.
Oh lordy.
Might as well for a bit of fun, whoever wants us to go in on it. Now,
Okay, sure.
here's the trick. On your sheet, go into the gear bits and put on, query whisper.
So, what was this word?
Okay, on your character sheet, see the gear in the right, far right?
Yep, I'm
Yep.
there.
And then where it says whisper, toggle whisper.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, okay.
Is it whisper rolls or just whisper?
Yeah, whisper rolls, and then you click it and go to toggle.
Let's see.
Okay.
Where?
Whisper toggle or query whisper?
Yeah, that bit.
Roll. Whisper rolls to GM.
Yep.
Query
Well, no.
whisper.
Make it a toggle. It's much easier that way. Yeah, Brader's got
Whisper
it.
toggle.
Let's see here. Yep, Castalia's got it.
I think I've got it.
Wait,
You
you
do,
said
yes.
Wait, did you say it was on the character sheet?
Yeah, it's on the character sheet. Hang
Yeah.
on.
The little gear, and then it's the top right box. Whisper rolls to GM, whisper toggle. And then you have to hit to GM.
There we go. Got it for you.
Oh, that's. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Zarzul, you got it?
I think so. Yep.
Okay. So,
From public to GM, right?
yeah. So all of you click to GM,
Mm-hmm.
and then just make something that rolls 3d6. A little attack thing. Or I think you can do like a... I don't know what the whisper hashtag is in this, or forward
Oh,
slashes in this.
Zarzul, I see you.
Okay, I'll just roll from the die there just to see if that will do it. But no. Okay.
Nah, it's got to be someone clicked on your sheet. There is a way to whisper the GM, I just don't know what the command is. This is just simpler.
So, what do you want us to roll?
3d6. That'll be the strength of your hand.
And you're not proficient in it.
No, of course not.
Yeah, just to tell people so they don't have a plus.
And since I'm on the
Damage.
journal page, I can't see what you guys rolled either.
Okay, that's easy. If
Is
you
it
just want to,
Is it cards or dice?
if you click on the dice on the left-hand side and click on GM first, it highlights GM and just send
Alright.
it straight to the
Okay,
GM.
it's handy.
Or you just type /GM roll.
Is that really as simple as that? Feels like a weird whisper thing.
Let's find out. Did that go through to you?
I'm not looking. But if no one else can see it, then yeah, it worked. The main
Yeah,
thing
it
is you
worked.
guys have a result that no one else can see.
Hmm.
Including me in this instance.
Oh,
Well, because I'm looking on the journal page, so I don't see the rolls coming up. So you've rolled to me, meaning you just have an exclusive roll that only you can see right now in the text chat.
Mhm.
It's even hidden from the stream. So, very simple. If you want it, we're doing like a poker style. The higher the number, the better. If you want to change cards, you can change up to 2 dice. Starting bid, 2 silver. And we're just going Yeah, we're just going in the order of the names on the Discord. So it starts with Raider, alphabetical. So Raider,
Okay,
me.
Can I have a quick rundown again, just so that my brain just went. Ugh.
Okay, it's very simple. It's just like poker, but without the cards. Whenever you want to,
Okay.
whenever you want to change cards, that's just changing one of the dice. So you just roll that to GM. and swap it out for one of your others. But you got to take the second roll. Could be worse.
Is there straights or pairs or anything like that?
No, it's just the highest number win to make things easier.
Only in a case of a tie. If the numbers are the same, then we look at the pattern of them. Fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Kagratz slides in 2 silver coins. So next would be Pio.
I fold.
Wait, was I supposed to roll hand strength?
No.
Not yet.
Well, did you roll for
Oh,
your
We didn't roll
3d6s?
anything. How did
Oh,
How
You're
yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to
You
roll
know to
3d6 private.
Yeah.
I figured this would be
yeah,
a nice
you
simple. I originally thought this would be a simple way to do it.
Mhm.
look? It's a. Oh, that
Oh.
didn't whisper. What the fuck?
And that
Press the
wasn't.
GM.
Yeah.
Press GM first on the dice.
Put the
Thing.
cards away. They're too awkward to use in this.
Okay, I'm obviously not getting something about what you want us to
All
do
you're
here.
rolling, you hit roll to GM, and you roll 3d6s.
Okay. I thought we had to put something on our sheet.
No.
Well, yeah,
That
if you
sounds
want
to
to, if you want to go that way.
It's just to automate it.
Yeah. The original idea was this was going to be quicker than using the cards,
Yeah, well.
because we only want to play a hand or two.
You have to roll private, honey bun.
What the fuck? I hit
Alright.
2 GM. What do you
Alright.
want from me? I fold. Fuck
Hang on.
this.
Let me
Calm down,
let me
man.
try this.
Ugh.
Alright, if you see the little die up on the left, where you have your mouse pointer, you have all that other stuff, and you have the little dice.
Yeah.
If you look up in the top corner, there's a button that says GM. Make sure GM is highlighted, and then click something, and it should work.
Okay.
So try 3d6 after you've clicked GM and it's blue.
So why did I have to change everything on my sheet for this?
So
Well,
I
that was
know
the
that
way-
process, honestly. I never used that button.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, this one is also easy to do.
So yeah,
I'm
Rena's turn to call, raise, fold, get a new card.
Add 2 silver. I'm adding 2 silver, but I'm not getting a new card.
Okay. How about you, Man of the Orb?
I'll take a card.
So what all were you guys talking about?
Oh. Well, there's been some interesting background things. Also, like I said, I had a card. And
Yeah.
I'm in.
All right, so the pot's currently 6 silver then.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in 5 silver
Oof.
and not take anything.
All right, what about you, big man?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll call.
All right. I'm gonna swap out a card. Actually, you know what? I'll swap out a bunch.
How would swapping cards work? Would it
Basically, you can
reroll?
you can do up to 2d6.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically you just replace the 2 of the dice result.
Alrighty then. Alrighty.
If I was
Gonna raise you 6 silver.
I'll
Ter-
fold.
You got a terrible hand, Castelia?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Fancy man's out. Congrats looks fucking huge as he leans over a table with the cards in hand. The cards look fucking tiny. Lady of Faith.
I'll just do
let's-
1 silver.
You
Well,
can't.
he raised 6, so you gotta
Yeah.
meet it.
Yeah, then I'd rate 6 then, yeah.
Alrighty. Little bro.
Yep, I'm in.
Is number 6 in the pot.
Yep.
And the champion of the arena.
Let's see, what's that put me?
We're at 29 silver right now. You guys have a
Yeah,
couple
I'm
of
in.
thousand.
Yeah, I'm in.
Alrighty. Alright, I'm gonna knock this round. Time to show the cards. What do you got?
I've got 4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 5. So, Rain's got
Zarzul?
me beat.
4, 5, and 4, 6, and 5. But yes, similar.
So right now we're tied.
Alrighty,
Yep.
then we'll resolve this simply. The two of you, roll another 3d6, see if you get a pattern.
In theory, they would split the pot. But...
Yeah, to be fair, we would split the pot, so yeah, we'll do that there instead. So that'll
Okay, I've
be
got
17 each
dragon
and
may
5
have?
copper. 17 silver, 5 copper. So how do you guys think this works? Does it feel alright?
Yeah, now that I understand what's going on.
I need to do some more work before I can start playing at this again. When I was with Danude, he was just a shark at this sort of thing. Oh yeah, we were talking on the party stuff. Outfits pick up tomorrow.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm mostly more of a Dragon Chess player myself.
Never really get the hang of that one. Not the rules and all, it's just big fingers.
Well,
Very
of course,
small
there is
pieces.
There's something to say about having all your information laid in front of you. This is thinking in a different way. Here you can only rely on the information you have.
And the information other people give you accidentally.
Yeah, because Congrats was a player there, I didn't want to involve any insight stuff because I'd have to click over to this here and accidentally see your rolls. Well. So, interesting night then? As he looks pointedly at Cornelius and Rain.
We've done some research on the Alchemians, what they've been up to. Learned some very interesting things.
You could
Well,
just do.
apparently
You could just say, we recap everything.
Yeah.
Well, Rain would recap, of course, leaving out her bits.
Yeah, we don't need to hear about her bits.
Yeah.
As we did try to get a little more from the cask of information.
She is fuming again, but visibly so.
Cornelius is holding an entirely neutral face.
She is shooting him death glares.
Congrats does have a neutral face. He's no idea. He wasn't there for the doll.
So he doesn't even notice that I'm looking like I'm about ready to jump over and murder him.
He sees it, he's just not going to interfere.
He
No,
knows
it's a
better
lover's
than-
quarrel. We don't get involved.
Yeah. He's
You're
instead
not allowed to say that when I'm drinking my Mountain Dew, because that almost went over my keyboard.
half it's Like half the time he's glancing at you guys, half the time he's glancing over Castalia distractedly. Because it's pretty much evening now. He knows what his best option is. But he's also expecting you guys to be socializing in some sort of manner. So he doesn't just want to say, let's go upstairs.
So I don't know if anybody else has any input on anything we've learned.
Because they just recounted the whole thing. If any of you were paying attention. Well, 2 of you were paying attention. One of you's got a really good excuse. Malgurn, Zarzul. Okay, never mind then. Well,
I mean, I'm not sure exactly what they would have of input of wizardly things.
priorities, maybe?
Well, there was the whole ritual part that we were looking into. If anyone needed a quick reminder.
Unfortunately, the only individual who really had input, if I recall, was Castalia. About the, Some of that bit wasn't included, though, because that was the Prender's bit.
Oh no, do you not think Cornelius would have just given the whole Prender's bit?
Well, he didn't say he did. All he said is the cask of information.
Yeah, there was only just that one, just to.
I mean, you could drop her
Drop
even
Rain.
deeper if you want. What's she gonna do?
No.
Not heal you?
Well, he
Well-
owed me because I picked him up off the floor when he was dead.
Doesn't
Well, there's
owe
also
you
the
for
part
doing your
where-
job.
It is also the part where it is also with Kirk Ratz being there. Cornelius does not entirely trust him, so he's kind of limited.
I just like how you had all the sensitive talk with the completely shady guy. And here is a champion of goodness and righteousness. I don't trust
Well,
him. What's his
Not so
angle?
much- not so much that part. Is more how he's gonna react to all this whole necromancy business and such. So it's more like limiting
Exactly.
and demonic incursions. Like, how does Castalia know about demonic incursions? Oh, well, her fucking patron, the dark demon, told her about it. You know, all that.
Her Patreon.
Yeah. How else do you get to my OnlyFans?
I mean, do you give him any suspicious looks or anything?
No, it's just more like
Alright.
some information not going in there because it would implicate either Rain or Castalia in some way. Like it's the part where he wants Castalia to at least tell him about some of this stuff. It's not supposed to come from the wizard just blurting out, "Oh yeah, and here's the devil who knows an actual devil." Or whatever he is. You know what I mean? I don't want to make things more difficult necessarily.
Understandable.
Yeah, and the only one who knows that this devil can actually manifest in the real world is Wolfgang, who is absolutely terrified of it.
Oh no, Castalia knows full well. She's done it twice. And she was the cause of a third one as well. She knows he just needs a bed of ashes.
Mm-hmm.
Well... Nighttime, Ben?
What is it?
Shall we just call a night then?
I thought it was going in another hand.
Oh, you guys want to? Sure.
I know what you said, but I heard growing in other hands, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Alrighty. Roll your 3d6s privately. Using the much better method that Webgun found. Because I just don't really poke at this UI much.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Great job,
3d6.
Poker Face. Come on, sidekick. That's not great. Sidekick's not responding. That's
Oh,
my way of
dear.
doing this privately.
Mhm.
I forgot about Sidekick Bot.
Yeah, I'm using it just because I can't look at your rolls or else I'd see your numbers.
Mm.
Alright, let's start this one fair just because I'm lighter in the pocket. Two copper.
He said 2 copper?
Yeah, he said 2 copper.
Yeah.
Wow.
The dude's had to pay to have his arm put back on.
Do
Meanwhile,
I...
Zazzle got a platinum just for walking into a bar and saying hello.
Yep. Salamez is great with his fans. Alright, you're next in line, Pio. Change a card.
I guess.
You don't want to play?
I have no idea what's going on.
It's
We're
just
playing an awful
it's
hand.
just dice value poker.
Yeah, I can't ascertain the value of anything.
Just higher number. Is your total high? That's all that matters.
I'll stay then. I'm fine.
Okay. So currently it's 4 copper in the pot. Lady Faith. Rena.
Oh.
How
Some
surprising
people
she
reading
doesn't
Lady
respond to being a priestess, huh?
We're learning.
Lady of the Dark.
I'm going to draw one more.
Staying or raising?
Stay.
Cornelius?
Switch up to cards.
Sticking?
I'm out.
Alright. Little bro.
I'm going to change 2 cards. That's better. I'll raise it 5.
I'm out.
Champ?
I'll call.
So that's up to 17 copper. Big numbers right now.
I know.
I'm gonna change 2. And then have to guess because Psychic is really delayed right now. I only just got my first roll result.
Wow.
Yeah.
Quarantine taking a toll on Sidekick.
So
Everyone's
I'm going sight unseen here. He's gonna raise by 8 copper. So up to 25 in the pot.
He's gonna raise 8 copper, huh?
Yeah. The Born Temptress.
I'll check.
Alright. Little bro.
I'll check as well.
And the champ.
Wait, he raised?
Yep.
I'll call because I want to see what he's got.
I don't know what I've got, that's the problem. Well, hang on, I can just take these ones. Okay. Oh, there we go. Alright. So, he lays it on. Total of 13. But with 2 5s.
I had 13 as well.
I got 14.
Castalia?
I got 13.
Alex. Cobalt gets it again.
That good game. This.
Yep.
Yeah, my hand, I rolled a 1, a 5, and a 1. On my 2d6, I got a 1 and a 3.
That was
I had 11.
that was my first roll. I got 5 1 1. But my reshuffle gave me a 5 and a 3.
I started with 3, 4, 1. So, yeah.
A successful minigame. Sure?
Yeah.
You'll all want to play it.
Now that I fully understand what's going on, and
When
now,
we roll D13s?
Hmm?
When we roll D13s?
could if you want.
Why would we-
I just wanted to do something simple, is all.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know what he was going for.
Because that way you can replace the dies and all that. It's not just a straight roll.
And it's just simple, just very quick.
Max hand size is 18.
And
so-
more importantly, no one has to know the rules or the hands. It's just
Yeah.
a bigger
True.
number.
You just have to understand max size is 18, and your number versus that is hand strength. That's
Yep.
pretty much the mechanic.
We also get a glimpse of how badly you would roll for stats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right.
I mean, Rain rolled stats lovely. It's just all the other characters.
You really triggered me when you said, you can re-roll anything, but you have to accept the new result, and I just had Blood Bowl rulebook flashbacks, because it literally says that. You may re-roll the dice, but you must accept the new result.
Yeah, for some reason, several of Malgern's cards are just skulls printed on them.
Yeah. I take 3 new cards, they're all skulls.
Could be. We don't know what the faces. Oh, what's the fucking term for them?
You left the jokers in the deck, man.
All right, rolling 3DF. What?
3DF, what?
Fudge dice.
The 3DF deploy.
All right.
Save the mother from an alien attack. Oh, come on.
I can't remember the rest of the lyrics.
From vicious giant
something,
insects who have once again come back.
Come back.
We'll unleash all our forces. We won't cut them any
cut them
slack.
any slack.
DDF deploy.
I love how all 3 of you are on different. This is great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's just the true experience.
You better
Yeah.
fucking be standing up when you sing this, by the way.
I must admit, I have the whole lot actually pasted into my notes.
I haven't pasted on my
There's-
memory.
There's a guide on Steam, all the lyrics.
Yeah, because they get fucking worse as you go along in the game.
Yeah. Tired of that depressing crap.
Alright, I have been refreshed enough, I think. He's taken 4 hands away from me, 2 with actual money involved.
I'll be right back.
I am going to show that I'm the winner, however, by doing this, as Congrats gets up from the table, and it picks up Castalia.
Oh.
Okay, that was cute. So yeah, we're going upstairs. You alright? We're going upstairs, yeah?
Yep.
Perfect. Good night. Enjoy your
Good
pillows and your empty beds.
Good night.
He's just trying to take what victory he can, man.
Yeah.
He's been beaten by a kobold repeatedly.
No, he's doing pretty good. This.
That's the one where Cornelius is entirely confused. Like, why would I want anyone to be in my bed? I have to be in the bed, after all.
He's confused. Like, no, it's
It's a small bed. Like, after all, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be able to fit there if there was
Not to
someone-
mention, you're so civilized. Even if you were married and/or in a relationship, you
Yeah.
still sleep in
Beds.
separate
Oh, yeah.
beds because you're not peasants.
Yeah.
You can afford 2 beds.
Yeah.
2 beds and then recliner.
Yeah.
And the second bed is for Droop. No,
Oh, I thought you
seniority. He earned his place here.
You said 2 beds and a recliner. I was like, is this going to be a Halvard joke? This is a Halvard joke.
No. I mean, it's kind of a Halbert joke. But Tiefling got carried away by the Dragonborn. It's a theme, isn't it?
Yes.
See, that Chrome book in Cyberpunk was true. Ladies love the dragons.
I just want to point out that so far the GM has been playing as a Lizardman, a Dragonborn, and the GM control party member is also a Dragonborn.
To be fair, he's also been playing as a goblin in this campaign.
You're finally noticing a trend, huh, Scotch?
Except the other place I'm at, I'm playing a human druid, and the other place I'm playing a human cleric. Well, I used to. But yeah, that's him out of the way. Any other chatter, or shall we jump to morning?
Well, this is the part. Well, is Castalia still downstairs? Or does he follow Kurgat?
I got picked up
He
and
got
carried away.
carried.
Oh, okay.
It's
sorry, I
like,
didn't hear that part.
he had a choice in the matter. That's why he asked us upstairs, okay?
Well, I had some questions for her, but
Kind of
that would have been-
gotta act quicker there, cornhole.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna go up there. I'm not gonna go up there for the next half hour, so
Half hour? Oh, please.
sorry, 5 minutes. I always make it.
Exactly. The big flame burns quick.
Did he say that out loud, or?
He has no idea what that means.
No, I meant, well, I'm not going up there for the next half hour.
Yeah, it's basically he's just for the moment he's not gonna go into his bed because he is right next up to. He has heard noises in the night, I imagine.
Yeah,
The real
Cornelius
Scott is
staggering
also
out to
at
Rain's
voices in
room.
the night.
I heard zoo noises. I heard a devil scream and a dragon roar. Those are both terrifying, and they're doing it together. The worst part is the walls get hot to the touch. There's a lot of body heat there.
Oh god.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's a fire hazard.
Yeah.
They're right up against the roof as well, and it's a fat roof.
You only just got the hole repaired.
Well, looks like.
And that's how the party burned down another house.
Once again, you burned down Orbison's house.
Just standing outside it's burning, and the wizard just got. It wasn't my fault this time.
But, you know,
Everybody's just looking at the wizard. Yeah.
in the resultant wreckage, you see Congrats and Castellian just goes, I can't even be mad, I'm impressed.
Can you that suddenly has a horrifying realization? You know, we have to at some point get to talk to that hobgoblin when we. I don't think he's gonna be taking her here, do you? Because I don't want to know what happens if we bring her in here with all the items in here again.
For a moment there, I thought he was just saying she's going to steal it. She's a thief.
No, I'm more worried. I'm more worried about. We remember what happened last time when all those items were in one place.
That would be a problem.
Yes. Could be. Maybe not. Maybe it was a freak accident. Maybe it wasn't even related to those items.
I'm certainly not about to test it out.
Don't talk to God. That's the cleric's job. Normally.
Hey, I try.
It's true, he does. Why isn't the actual cleric? Anyway.
So, Malkern ready for tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I hope they have good drinks.
You can clearly see on his face. You have to remind him of it.
Yeah.
By the way, how's your displacer piece going? It's Starting to look rather oversized. Frighteningly so.
Yeah, but how big is she right now?
Like I said, she is just about the same size as Wolfgang, who is a wolf.
I mean, she's no bigger than Wolfgang. It's not that large.
Wolfgang being a full-grown wild animal.
Yeah, but Valgurn doesn't kick. It's fine.
I don't know, he's a dwarf. Size shouldn't be something he recognizes. Like, laying on the ground, the two of you, she'd be longer than you, Malgurn.
Well, let me
Yeah,
Let
so
me
would
ask-
Wolfgang.
let me ask you this way, Malgren. What would happen if I went over there and tried to pet her?
Please find out.
I mean, she doesn't bite me. I'm sure she'd be fine with it.
I'm not going over there.
Go over there.
Aw.
It's got candy. Don't bring weapons.
I'm just saying. It's a creature. I just hope that creature is not about to think of as any of us in here as a meal.
There's a large
No,
black
I-
paw near your foot, Cornelius. Then you just see it stretch, press into it, and you see large claws extend out from the fingers.
Oh please! I got skewered by a fucking beast from the outside. That there is gonna take a lot more to frighten me. It might hurt, but it's not gonna frighten me.
Well, there is a question: is that the cat or the illusion?
Bum, 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 bum.
Ba-bum.
Should we find out? It was the illusion. Bum, bum, bum. No.
But yeah, she seems to be stretching, flexing, and not screwing up the whole floor work and the woodwork.
Yeah. I'm sure it's fine.
Yes, we're going to quickly switch to morning now so we get something actually done.
Yes.
Who steals the nice sleep the sweet dreams pillow?
I'm sorry, the what?
There's one of those in the house now. There's a pillow that will just give you a pleasant dream.
Oh, it was
It's almost
Castalia who
a pity
had
we
it.
don't have
It's a
Siegfried
shame
here.
Siegfried isn't around here.
Yep, he'd really
Yeah.
benefit from it.
Either that or he'd break it, one of the two.
Well, I know there was Castalia who had it, so I guess it's kind of up to her to decide who has it.
Hmm.
Because I don't know if she deposited in the vault.
Could walk out wrapped in a sheet and just throw it at them.
What are they after?
The pleasant dreams pillow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm using that.
Suck it, nerd. You gotta put up with your own measly dreams.
But she already had sweet dreams. That's not fair. That's double dipping.
They're
Yes.
beyond
I mean,
sweet.
Nalgurn wouldn't care either way, but that's... Wow.
Have you ever awakened in the morning to find yourself crying, not wanting to re-wake, wanting to live that dream forever? That's my dreams.
This is getting too real, man.
Come on down to Simple Rick's.
We
Morning
replayed that
arises.
dream.
You know what some of you have to do. A couple of you are completely unattached right now. It's another spice-laden morning, but not in the food. Just in the kitchen. A time to converse and plan things out and do things. Engage in things.
You want us to get engaged?
Yes, we're getting married this Monday.
I mean, it gives you +2 AC for a week.
Yeah?
The
Oh,
power gamer in
On Monday,
PO means that
divorce
she's
on
thinking about it
Sunday.
with congrats, I know it. That'll put her up to 21 AC.
So,
But
so
it
when-
shouldn't just be for mechanical stuff.
True. But we have to work on that first.
oh yeah, is it Kurgatz that was in the kitchen making food?
Yeah.
Gotta try and take is Castalia with them, or is he actually sitting at the table?
Up to her. She's
I'd be
a...
helping cooking.
God fucking damn it!
This is how it is, Square. You can never get a girl away from her man.
Well, you could just, tap me on the shoulder and ask.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
but,
could communicate.
yeah, but there's at this point where Cornelius has noticed that every time he does so, the Dragonborn looks at him weird. And he's starting to feel like he's trying to do something, like he's trying to commit some sort of conspiracy. He just want to ask if she's talked to his, if she talked to her patron about the star creatures, because he knows she went after it.
No, I haven't really talked to, but he was interested in one, and so I gave him one. If you like, we can certainly ask about it tonight. Well, after we do our duties and such. And if we have no other plans.
Sure. Does Kakash knows about, the smoke?
I don't think it's been brought up.
So is this where you want to get him involved in it, or do we find somewhere else to talk about this?
I see no reason not to involve.
Entirely your decision.
As Cornelius finds him once again trying to be cloak and dagger and no one's caring.
No, it's just, again, he just want to make sure that she is fully understanding the situation here. That she comprehend that it might be a bit weird, or not.
Well, yes, it'll be a little odd. I mean, it's a deity from the Shadow Fae.
Again, it's not entirely your decision, but we can certainly figure out something in the evening. I suppose you're going to work now, and besides I have other engagements today.
Indeed. And being honest and upfront will ultimately benefit everyone.
Just ask Rain. As you look at Katrina Caskmore coming down the stairs with Pufflesworth in tow.
Karina, not Katrina.
Close enough.
And she's good.
Pufflesworth looks the same. He looks very rough.
I look down. Do you want some breakfast, boy?
There's a feeble chirp, a grumpy one.
I get him some dried jerky to start with.
Actually, there's quite a nice, fragrant set of dishes brought out from the kitchen eventually. It's mainly a bit of, sort of thickened stew, but it's got a lot of colors in it. Various kinds of peppers, a few kinds of sweet fruits. It's light.
So, Droop, I'm gonna have to go today to get my brother out of another one of his troubles he's gotten himself into.
Okay.
Figure we'll just inform you about where I'm going today. I assume you don't want to meet him.
You can see that this choice has confused him slightly. He just assumed he was going with you because that's what he does. Although he hasn't for a while.
Of course, it is your choice. Just remember who it is we're talking about.
I don't know who he is.
Has you never met him?
Probably not.
I thought that. Wow.
Well, not
I
properly.
just-
He's never sat and talked to him because Cornelius wouldn't sit and talk to him.
Yeah, but I assume that he had probably, as soon as they had ever met, he had just come with vile commentaries about the goblin.
Yeah, but it's true. He's used to that. This is his expected interaction. This could be a really good person who's just saying that because he's a goblin.
Mhm. Well, you can come along then if you want.
I'll think about it. Think.
All right. Anyway, how's your studying doing?
I haven't made a lot of progress, and I haven't been able to fix anything either. It's. I have a spell in mind. I just don't know how to write it down yet.
Tell you what, Drew. Tomorrow, I think we'll go for a trip outside the city and we can test some of these things out.
I was wondering about that, the scroll you had, Catnap.
Yes?
I mean, I don't want to copy it because that gets rid of it, but is it okay if I look at it for a bit?
Your thing. And you could also try and copy it if you want to. That'd be good practice for you.
Hmm. I'll give it a
Sure,
try.
go ahead and take. Sure, go ahead and study it.
And he's back up the room. To think, the only two people that use that very fancy, expensive desk. But in Droop's case, he just works at the foot of it.
Yeah,
Alright.
and Droop's been getting more use out of it than Cornelius.
No, he subscribed in a shitload of stuff recently.
Yeah.
He got busy with it.
Should probably actually take some time and actually write in a few more spells, even if I don't get to necessarily need them.
Mm.
Should probably also see if I can actually whisk up a couple of scrolls in the town if there is any.
That's what you actually want to do. You need an investigation.
Oh, okay then.
As you go out of that town. Because you've noticed, like, there's not a huge amount of magical commerce going on. There's the Fungal Clumps, but they work they work seemingly very practical terms and items enchanted.
Yeah, I imagine it's probably someone who has like a some sort of a traveling merchant who would just have a temporary booth who might have some items.
Or a lucky
Like
find in a very dusty bookstore.
Hmm.
But they just didn't realize it was a magic tome or a magic scroll.
Well, it depends. When is it that he's going to meet at the tavern?
You assume evening, because that's when shady types do.
Alright, well, probably go about and do an investigation roll then for when I eventually have to go out, unless other people want to do stuff that involve Cornelius.
I forgot, was Cornelius bringing anybody with him this time?
Yes, to the tavern, you and
Yeah.
Malgern as
Oh yeah,
muscle.
I forgot Malgern, yeah. Malgern is the one I forgot.
Is that it? You're not going to bring it up to the kobold or the tiefling?
I thought they
Well,
said they wanted to keep it small.
I just imagine it'll probably be too many if there's like the entire adventuring party. Like one is just, you know, personal protection, another is a full attack party.
You could take Orbison with you.
I feel like he has had enough. But yeah, we do actually. Oh yeah, is Robinson also awake at this point?
Yeah,
Is he also at the table?
he's lounging at the table.
Say, Robinson,
Hey.
your current romantic involvement.
You see his eyes flicker up to the corner for a second as he sorts through it. Okay.
Now, do not take this the wrong way, but I do believe that some issues might happen if you were to bring her around here. To this
Probably,
particular building.
Oh.
The issue is not with us. It is some other things that might happen if she were to arrive. At least until we have had some discussions with her.
Oh, I wasn't thinking of marriage or anything.
No, no. Did you hear what happened at the arena?
Oh, I heard there was a big old fight and all, and then the place closed down for a bit.
Yeah, let's just say it's somehow we and a certain hobgoblin lady was the reason for that. Not voluntarily, mind you. But somehow.
It was a kerfluffle.
I don't think I've got a long-term thing with her anyway. I think you're all right there.
Well, that's okay. That's just no. Just in case you thought that you wanted to bring her over here, it's just that things might become doom and destruction if such thing were to happen.
Yeah, nah, don't worry about that. I mean, if I brought her here, I'd take her into a room full of stab marks. Might be a bad impression, you know. So I figure if we went anywhere, it would be like her place or, you know, one of the hotels.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't worry, man.
Alright.
Besides, she might end up hearing the room above, and I don't want to compete with that.
Fair enough. Just wanted to bring that about just in case.
Sure. You mean the hobgoblin, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I was not aware if there were multiple choices.
Well, you know. I'll just not bring any. It's fine.
Well, any other would be fine, just not her at the very moment.
Rain is currently laughing.
Right, okay. As he just pokes at whatever he's eating.
However, if you were to meet her very soon, you could mention that we are interested in talking to her about the incident.
Yeah, okay, I'll bring it up.
And if she wants to talk about it, hopefully you can mention. You can bring back where she wants to talk further about it.
I guess I'll try. What? He's confused by that last sentence.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I'll bring her around. Sure. Well, I'll mention it. You know.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, just one more thing, Robinson, and I'll.
You see him finally put down the spoon, just straightened up in his chair with a head hanging back a bit.
You wouldn't happen to know any place that might have some interesting in terms of scrolls or anything. This shop might be selling anything of interest. Anything you've heard?
There's a really dusty old store. It might not even be open anymore. It's like third from the right whenever you're in the squares. Yeah. He basically just gives you directions to it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the sign is, though. Like, it's real sort of crummy. But it had a ton of books and stuff in it.
Well, it might be worth checking out. Thank you very much. Sorry for taking off the time.
Okay. Hope so. Alrighty. So, what are you lot getting up to then?
Well, I would probably be playing Fetch with Pufflesworth, considering I know I'm going to be busy today.
Never comes back. You throw something, he's just chewing on it until you walk over and pull it out.
Well, that's what I figure, and then throw it again. And
Yep. Now and again, as he chased after it, he looks back at you with a bit of scorn, as if, why do you keep throwing it? Why are you doing this? But then also, of course, if you leave him chewing it for a bit, he just loses interest and walks off. Malgurn?
Is Cornelius...
He doesn't eat as heavy yet.
Yeah. I feed the cat.
Alright, so that's 2 down with pets. Zarzul!
Yeah. It's like, what do you want me to do? I feed the cat and I get breakfast.
Are you doing anything in the early day?
Zazdal's going to wander out to the market and see if he can find ingredients for these health potions so he can give them a go at some point.
Alrighty. Give me an investigate on you. Because you're having to ask around a bit. I mean, you're pretty familiar, but also it's a bit in demand. So it's finding someone who's got them properly in stock that hasn't been snapped up and all. You find them, but instead of 25 gold for the total, you're looking at about 30. 30 gold per dose, basically.
Okay, I'll get... how much gold have I got on myself? I got plenty, I'll be honest.
How much platinum have you got in your secret chest?
No touch horde.
You're talking about my hoard here. I've got admittedly 61 plate. Yeah. But I'll grab enough for 3 potions.
Fair enough.
It's 90 gold.
If you need any more, probably be a couple of days before I get restocked.
Oh, good. No, it's perfectly fine.
Alrighty, man. Big in demand of these mercs.
I can understand why. Thank you, good sir. It has been great dealing with you.
Yeah, no worries. Castalia, you're off to work, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
There's a Dragonmore at the door for you. And yeah, once you get to Yosef's... alright then. Still need nails, still need horseshoes and all, but... Gonna give you a wee bit of a test here. See, this just came in now. And it's just a big... It's actually kind of familiar to you. It's just a big slat of decoratively spiked fencing. But you can see it's pretty bent, corroded. It's gone through a lot. Anyway, fancy merchant man came to me. Wants a bit of a new fence. This is what... You know, the whole thing's going to be ripped out eventually, but this is just a segment he gave me, you know, for the space and the height. Got to keep that and go. But design-wise, he's open to new interpretations. So, you're a prized employee, because otherwise it's those fucking two, and that's never gonna fucking happen. The only time they'll do something beneficial to the forge is when they fall into it and keep the fire stoked. So today, and for the rest of the time, 'cause this will be a bit of a project, on you. Give yourself a chance here, but you know, got recommendations here. Don't go too elaborate, because you got to do this for a fair bit of fencing.
All right. What can you tell me about the client?
Well, fat merchant, really fucking fat, just huge. Human though.
Any religious ties?
Let's see now. What did I see about the house? Trying to think now. Well, he seemed to be all sort of wrapped up. He didn't dress like a local. More like your durations, those ones. Sort of breezy and all that there. He wanted something welcoming but hostile.
All right.
Because it's meant to keep people out, but he doesn't want people to just think, oh, I'll never go in that place. Just, you know, the people he doesn't want should be thinking, oh, that looks awful out there if I get my arse pucked on that. So yeah, meant to keep it the petty thief. So it's still got to be sort of, you know, spiky, bristly, Something to stop the plebs crawling over, he said.
Hmm.
As for religious stuff, oh yeah, he did. We can't do it though. Can't leave a religious angle.
Hmm?
Well, he had what do you call it? The platinum dragon.
Ah.
Yeah, you can't do that sort of thing publicly around here.
Hmm.
Don't know why. Just
No, at
never
least-
been a thing here.
Well, at least I know to avoid putting a 5-headed dragon on it.
Oh no, not the 5-headed one. No, fuck me, no. No,
No.
hmm?
No, it's more of like I didn't want to offend his religious sense.
Oh right, yeah, yeah, definitely not.
And how skilled a duelist is he?
Um, don't know if he's much of a duel. Like, he has one. Like, he's got the hired help and all. One of them seems pretty fancy. He's had the backseat recently. Thinks a lot of himself. Fucker wouldn't stop introducing himself as we went into each room. I just kept ignoring him, you know, and he just kept making the big fancy hat flopping about.
Was he the one all dressed in gold?
All in gold? No. He had,
That was... no, that was the other Dragonborn, I think.
Yeah, but the big Dragonborn was a golden scale Dragonborn.
Yeah. I think I've met that Tabaxi.
Probably. He certainly makes a big effort of introducing himself.
And
Imagine
the
most people
rapier
have fucking met
is
him.
for him or the merchant.
Oh, it's for the merchant. Like, he's just the hired help.
Alright. So it should be a mix of form and function rather than favoring both.
He looks like
No.
the store to lean more on form.
Alright. Well, then we're just gonna have to go all in artistically. And just make sure it works.
Does remind me though of one bloke who got all this fencing done. I didn't do the job personally, but it was beautiful when it came up one time. Big tier man. Now his symbol, big fucking fist on a gauntlet. So, oh man, there was this drunken light. He decided he climbed over it. He slipped. Oh boy. I think he still uses crutches now. But that we laughed about that one. That was a good one. But like the pig stickers now though, because it's more discouraging to just see a spike. You think, yeah, I'm not going to put my hand there. Apparently, it helps with the pigeons as well. So this is all in your hands now. Obviously, don't go too far out right now. You're just doing the sample thing. I'll run it by the client, see if I go for more.
Right.
But giving you trust in this, Talia.
I won't let you down.
Well, see about that, because you've got to roll. This time it's dexterity in your proficiency.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Where the
because you're
switches
doing
to the
fine
black-
detail work.
Where it switches to the black card, then you hear the it's Sonny and Saddle whereas he fucked it. Okay, well he didn't.
Yeah, you start working and you've got the images in your mind. Now, you try a few things. They sort of just, eventually you just beat them back in the raw material again. But you're starting to form it up. You're seeing the possibilities here. And you're pretty confident you're seeing your vision in ironwork. Yosef, a few passing nods. He's liking what he's seeing. Not entirely to his taste. Not how he'd do it. But then, he's a dwarf, not a horned beauty. But yeah, by the end of the day, you've got a couple of samples presentable. And for your daily work, what was it again? Oh yeah, 20 silver. Just for the shift. Alright, Cornelius, shall we do your roll then?
Yeah.
Your investigation.
Yep.
I mean, luckily you had advantage because Orbison gave you directions to the place.
Okay.
But my god,
Oh,
it's a
what
crypt.
Mhm.
As you look in, you just see these huge fucking cobwebs that descend from what you assume is the rafters right down in front of the dirt encrusted window to just like half an inch above the table where a bunch of books are sitting. And they are thick with dust. You don't see any movement in the store either. But when you just put your hand on it just to test, the door is open.
Well, I open the door and walk in. Is it dark in there?
Oh yeah. And you can also see as daylight seeps in that there's a good couple of centimeters of dust laying on the layered on the floor, and there's just a trench been carved through by the door.
Well, very politely, I ask not too loud, but not too quiet. Is anyone in here?
Yeah. Hang on
Huh.
a tick. You hear a bit of distant scuffling about, a few things just sort of scraping against each other. And then from a curtain that has just got like once he moves it, you see that it was red, but you couldn't have guessed that initially. There's just clouds around him as he moves. There is just a constant trail, not just of the environment, like walking through the environment he seems to be moving dust around. You can almost see an empty space immediately behind him as just dust piles around him. Alrighty then. Well, don't keep the door open now. You're gonna let all the filth in.
Sure. It's like close the door behind me.
He's a very narrow, skinny kind of human guy. Very sort of lank black hair. Doesn't look unhealthy. Just looks incredibly unassuming. This is who you'd look at when you say this guy was nobody. Oh, what do you want?
Well, I was told that there was a store that might have some sort of books or otherwise.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, it's this is my uncle's old store, so I just live in the back, and then think must have forgot to lock the door. Sure, we'll try some business. Help yourself, I suppose. Then we'll see what you bring out. And using that roll, you find a few interesting bits and pieces, just cursory. You find the dietary habits of the local goblin, which is actually quite a large volume. You also find one on the rituals and pantheon of the orcish race. You find stuffed in some tawdry little romance novel, and what was being used as a bookmark, but as you unfurl it, you start to notice very faintly, like almost too faded for age, something that looks like a proper bit of spell work. And giving a bit of a read down is a little tricky. You realize you hold in your hands a scroll of Earthbind.
Let me just... Oh, apparently that's not on...
Yeah, it's from Xanathar's.
For some reason, yeah, I completely lost my Xanathar's book, so...
Oof.
Okay, choose ones you can see within range.
Yeah, so this one is choose one creature you can see within range. Yellow strips of magical energy loop around the creature. Target must succeed on strength saving throw where its flying speed of any reduces 0 feet for a spell's duration.
Hey.
Hi.
Oh.
Alright. Yeah, looks interesting. Nothing else to deal with pesky flying creatures.
Sorry, the dog was raiding the trash can.
You pick through a few more books, novel. Like you're reluctant to touch anywhere. I'm sure you press digitate a few places.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't want to push up more dust than necessary.
You also find a history of one particular family. Although you get a little bit less interested when you realize it's not just the beginning of a family; it is their end. This is a dead bloodline.
Hmm.
And it's a very old book, so probably not that useful for rubbing elbows.
Well, what's the name of the family?
The Calwitz. Not anyone you've heard of.
Yeah, but we found out that old things that might be from before might have relevance now.
Yep. And you also find a scroll, another one in a tube, this one not even sealed, for Absorb Elements, which is another Xanathar spell. You poke for a few more and you just find there's not a lot here, a lot of cookery books, a few little journals. A couple you actually remember seeing in some of the stores in Neverwinter. Which is weird because some of them are more recent than this store looks. And you also realize that the left wall is one ginormous tome. But it looks like it's never been opened. You thought it was a security door and whatnot, but no, that big padlock is just to keep the book closed. It is floor to ceiling.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think anything's actually written on it. I think they just bought it like a, advertising thing. Like, hey, we've got books. Not this one, but we got... I don't know, though. I mean, maybe he bought it. Maybe it's a book. So, will he be taken?
So, does he know about these scrolls?
He doesn't look like he knows anything.
Yeah. So the scrolls, are they folded or are they like stretched
Like
out?
I said, one is incredibly folded up and withered. The other one was sitting in a tube, so it's rolled up but kind of fresh looking.
Alright, well, the one that was kind of squished together, I pushed it into the book about the Kirkits.
The Calwitz, yep.
Calvits, sorry.
I'll just put it here. Yeah.
The Calvits, yeah. And then I put the tube there. Like next to it, so this
okay.
book and this tube here.
He picks it up and sort of looks down the end of it, as if making sure the book is straight. History thing, sure. 10 gold? I mean, it's a pretty big book.
What would Cornelius think about the 10 gold for this book?
Not too far off. You'd expect a little bit less, considering the condition of it. But I mean, it's a full family archive.
Yeah, fair enough. It's just more that, like, I have no idea what books are worth in this world, so...
Yeah. Well, I mean, like a blank book, I think, is 25 gold. In the initial equipment chart.
Right.
And the tube, I don't know, looks fancy enough. Bit of paper in there as well. Yeah, sure, 5 gold.
Yes, that sounds reasonable enough.
Well, I mean, I would charge you more, but I don't see the lid anywhere.
Well, I'm certain that I know someone who can fashion me a lid for it.
Yeah, this would be you trying to suppress a grin.
Mm.
But, it's like hard wearing and all, so, you got that going for you.
Yeah, that's all I'm paying the 15 gold.
Yeah, have a good day, man.
You as well.
And you are out of there and immediately prestidigitizing every bit of dust off you.
Gotta get this pour off me.
And trying not to grin too widely, but you just fucking got 2 spell scrolls and a book for fucking nothing.
Mhm.
And then we roll to evening, I suppose. Yeah?
Roll to evening. Okay, so what is that? Like it's a D10.
No, it's a D2, man. You have daytime and nighttime.
What about twilight and dusk?
Doesn't count. It's expanded roll set, and I'm not having that bullshit here.
Before then, I'll probably go and check on Troop how he's been doing with the catnap.
He keeps on looking at it, but what he's putting down in his book, that's a different spell. Like, it's one thing to not use the same formula as someone else to have a different style for it. Something different is coming from there.
I'll probably try and tutor him a little bit more, trying to get him in the more.
You
correct
don't want to
direction.
find out what he's actually writing down?
Well, I'm supposed to help teach him. Like, I can't just go, well, good luck, shithead.
It's time to stomp on that creativity and get you back into routine.
So until evening, I'll probably help tutor him to where it is he's having difficulties.
Oh god, now I've got to try and remember which fucking map I put this on. Forgot the label of this one.
Oh yeah, and also before then, I handle the absorb elements to rain.
Oh?
Comes back from a store, I bought you something.
Yeah. I think this spell might be a little bit more of your, more used to you than it would to me.
It's beginner stuff.
Well, that is also more for melee attack, so you know, not where the Canadians want to be anywhere near.
Thank you.
That'll be
I
50 gold,
appreciate it.
please. And of course, for any transcribing purposes, we just say you bought the nice fancy inks and paper elsewhere. If you get round to it.
Yeah, but not at the moment.
But now we roll to darkness. To a quieter evening. Along with also picking up your outfits, that's done pretty seamlessly. Rain, did you walk out with yours, or do you have to pick it up? I think you had to pick it up, didn't you?
With what?
Rain stole the design.
Oh, yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
go pick up mine.
Have to...
Yeah.
No, see
Yeah.
at least the design.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you guys, you've got your formal outfits. They look pretty fucking nice. Little bit of a step up from what you've been doing in the trying out phase.
Ooh.
Comfortable, well fitted. Looks fancy. Good quality material. Now, Gurn, you feel like a proper champion now. Although it still feels weird to tuck your beard in.
Yeah, I'm not 100%.
But the beads, oh man, feeling the weight of the beads and I mean, it takes
probably a new feeling.
it takes you a while in the mirror. I mean, you're fiddling about with now. You got arrangements. You've got patterns now. And that's when Cornelius says, "I need you to break someone." When you're fiddling with your balls in the mirror.
Well, I just realized something that with him having those beads in his beard and he's gonna have the breastplate to go over it, you're just gonna hear these constant tick, 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 tick,
To say, what are you trying to say? What are you...
Everyone okay for going on a bit longer?
yeah.
Yeah.
Laughs in quarantine.
So, time to head to the bar. Let me see, where's the fucking party tokens? Did I remember to copy paste them here? I think they're pretty old, these ones. I can tell because that's the wrong... it doesn't matter, you can just drag it off. So yeah, you guys are on here. Reveal a nice little area. There we go.